Please be seated. This is a text that is often preached as our mission, to go out and preach the good news, to heal and to teach, and so it is. But in our desire to do that, we forget one important thing. We can do nothing on our own. We can do nothing under our own authority. And when we try to do that, that's where the unbelief, of course, happens that Jesus is talking about. We are trusting in ourselves rather than in the one who calls us, the one who gives us his authority. And this text this morning is all about authority, Christ's authority. In the first part, Jesus' authority is in question. And in the second part, Jesus gives his authority to those who follow him. But we mess it up when we carry with us the excess baggage that Jesus wants us to leave behind. And that excess baggage that we carry is thinking that we have the authority on our own. The excess baggage is thinking that we are in charge of Christ's church. And here are just a couple examples of what that excess baggage that we carry can look like. We who are better off give to those who are less fortunate, but we just hand out rather than work with to help them live sustainable lives. A handout rather than a working with. Or it could look like this. We who have the message of truth on how to live correct others or look down on them for how they choose to live their lives. Or perhaps we think that our level of giving determines our level of decision-making authority. These are just a few examples of excess baggage, of how we act on what we perceive as our own authority. And these are the things that Jesus tells us to leave behind when he sends us out to do his work, the kingdom work. We forget that we can do nothing good without Christ within us. And the Christ within us calls us to see that all of us are equally valued in God's kingdom. Jesus calls us to see that we are no different or more important than anyone else. We here at Salem are no more important than the low-income people to whom we give furniture or clothing or household items, and then don't also help give them a hand up. Fortunately, in the ministry that we have here, we also do that, help give people a hand up rather than just a handout. Or perhaps we forget that we are no different or more important than those who have or who do not have what we perceive are the best morals, or don't live the way that we think that they should live. We are no different or any better. Or we are no different or no better than those who have little money to give to the church, but perhaps give of their time, or perhaps don't seem to give at all. We are no more important, no different. All of us, every single one of us, are broken and sinful human beings who are struggling to live decent lives day after day. But it is inevitable that we mess up by thoughtless, hurtful words, by not listening to each other, not even really seeing each other. All of us, every one of us, are in need of the good news that Jesus sends us out to share with others. The good news that God loves all sinners, all the time. And that means that God loves us when we get this thing called life right, but God also loves us when we mess it up. Our brothers and sisters at Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston know this with every fiber of their being, and that is why they were able to forgive the young man who murdered their loved ones. That is why there was a banner that hung during the funeral of Reverend Pinckney that read, "Wrong church, wrong people, wrong day," to proclaim that to the world that no race war would start with their church because of these murders. When we really see that we are all the same, in need of forgiveness, and that we have already received that forgiveness, we can shed the baggage of the illusion of our own authority, and we can take on our journey only the staff of Christ's authority. This staff, remember from the reading, is the only thing he allowed his disciples to take with them. The staff that Jesus used in his words, this metaphor, was actually a 5-foot pole on which shepherds often leaned to rest. And the sheep, seeing that their shepherd was relaxed, grazed peacefully. What a great image. What a great metaphor, this image of the staff. For when we lean not on the illusion of our own authority, but on Christ's authority, we can truly walk with each other. We really don't know what's coming down the pike, folks. We don't know here at Salem any more than our sisters and brothers in Charleston knew what was coming the day a young man walked into their church and killed 9 people in the middle of a Bible study. But we can take their example of what it means to really be a disciple and follow Jesus. The example of forgiveness. Forgive each other. Truly. See yourself as a person in desperate need of forgiveness. And you will then better be able to forgive a fellow church member, your pastor, who is equally sinful and broken and in need of Christ's forgiveness. Yes, Christ gives us, the church, his authority, and he sends us out, not alone, but he sends us out in community to share the good news of God's love for all of us. All of us. May it be so.